Your home for our Atlanta Falcons, Hawks, and Atlanta United. Your teams play here. Sports Radio 92.9, The Game.
It's Dukes and Bell at Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. We are live at Hobnob right here at Atlantic Station, guys, hanging out. And look who has come to hang out with us, none other than one of the all-time sack guys in the NFL. He was a heck of a player for our Atlanta Falcons. And, Mike, when was the last time we saw Abe?
It was, we were out there at Mercedes-Benz. They had like an event for season ticket holders, and eventually they let some folks in there off the street, and basically you get to come in and hang out and watch the Falcons scrimmage and practice. And Abe was on the field, and I was like, hey, Abe, hey, Predator. And so John came over, jumped on, sat in with us for a couple of segments, and everybody just loved it because, first off, everybody loves Abe because he was a bad man, and we never get to hear the man. And now he's back in the mix and in the fold with the Falcons. He's going to be one of the dudes on stage for the pep rally tonight here at Atlantic Station. What's up, John?
What's going on, y'all? You know, got my daughters out here with me. I think this is going to be their first experience of it. You know, they'll ask me so many questions walking over here, and I'm looking like, you know, I live there, right? My daughter like, we have to drive over. I said, no, this is going to be an easy one. This is going to be an easy one.
Well, it's good to have you on, man. The start of the season is always special. And I know you reminisce and think back to going through these moments of like, all right, we're 2 days away, right? What was going through your mind as seasons? And I don't care which one it was, because I know they were all different, right? At the end, it felt different. At the beginning, it was different for you. But, like, what are you thinking and how you're feeling? You're going through all this stuff, and you've looked at the film. Man, you're ready to go, right?
I said, me personally, it was all about trying to stay healthy. If you saw my career, and I hate to harp on it, but I'm going to keep telling everybody, I had 133.5 sacks, and I missed 40-some games. That's like 3 years of football. So you're talking about Hall of Fame for me. You're talking about being at a whole nother plateau or level of a player I wanted to be, and I never got to reach that. And people don't understand why I'm so sensitive when it comes to that. You know, so but definitely for in this type of Atlanta and how we are now, we need to build more, I guess, the fans.
Right.
Because I remember when, you know, we had 7 here, the other 7, the first 7,
yes.
Right.
the only 7. So, you know, I love seeing the 7 and the 21s in there. But, you know, we're thinking of Colorado now. We think of 21.
True.
And I'm just being realistic.
Yeah.
But I love to see how everything is coming together. I'm hoping that Arthur Smith can have not the 24-0 game, because we don't need that. I mean, my big thing is we got to be able to use DE John as much as possible. We got to get Pitts in the game as soon. I mean, if the first play is a deep route with everybody running deep and you just let it go, I guarantee you. I'm just saying this is the kind of stuff we need for excitement around here, and we want to see that.
It is the John Abraham guys. For those who remember, played with the Jets, came to Atlanta, and then we finally got into pass rush business. What do you think about the moves that we made in the offseason? We spoke with Calais Campbell. We're going to replay that interview later in the show. That's a dude that, again, he's putting together a Hall of Famer. I want to get you in first. But what do you think about getting after the quarterback with this group? Are we going to be in that business this season?
Calais, Anyamata. I had the pleasure of actually being with Grady Jarrett a couple days ago on the Dobbin Army base. And when I say he's a great guy, you want to see him win. And he's saying he got 6 more years in him. So this is his prime. Right. So seeing something like that and hearing him say that and knowing that he feels physically ready, Calais is going to be a guy that's going to give us sacks. You know that. Sure. Like whether it's 7 or whether hopefully we're hoping for the higher number of 12, but also we're a running team. So that kind of scares me too. You get in a running battle, we down 14 points. Oh my God. With Calais, they ain't gonna be passing the ball too much. Mm-hmm. You know, Grady, you got to have to chill. You know, Anderson, you're going to be in this coverage, but you got to get up at the line. You got to stop this on third down is short, so it's going to be very viable for us if we want to be a great team. And if we can't stop them on third down, like that 24-0, 13-13 the game before, 19 points. I'm looking like this is the only thing like if we're going to be a running team and we're going to be a gadget team, we got to be able to score. Like people are getting 30 points a game these years. Right. It's like they paying these quarterbacks 50 mil, baby, get their cash. So they want to see some people bad. And I said this the other day. It's got to work from 9 to 5, like Dolly Parton song, from 9 to 5. we got to have Ritter, Pitts, Robinson, the kicker. Koo's gonna have to make every kick. Every kick is gonna matter. 95%, baby. We ain't missing nothing. From 45 in, we need you hitting. You know what I'm saying? Because all the games are gonna be close in my mind. Okay. And number 5, Drake London. Drake, We know you're not Julio, but we need that Julio mentality. We need you to catch these short screens. We need to catch you these short 5-yard catches and take them to the house. Like, we need this in the offense if we want to be a running team, because usually a running team is a good running team if they're up. Like, you're down, you still running the ball. People in the stands are going to start emptying because they're like, okay, we down 15. He's running the ball on third down. Like, okay, bro, I'm about to go home, bro.
Well, that's why you got to let Ritter play, right? That's why you've got to allow him to not protect him per se, but be a quarterback, man, and let him throw the football. And I think, John, to your point, that's what this growing process that he's going to go through. I want to ask you about, thinking less on defense. Because we always hear, like, the less I have to think, I get after the guys, get after the quarterback. I'm coming off the edge. That is part of knowing your assignments. But I'm curious, like, from your standpoint, was it just, hey, I don't care about anything, I'm going. Like, get to the quarterback. It doesn't matter. And was it easy from the standpoint of the assignments? Because everybody talks about Ryan Nielsen making it easier for the guys up front.
Okay, 21-year-old, 22-year-old John, I'm just going.
Okay.
Like I said, if I'm going to make a play, I'm going to make it going full speed. If I mess up, I'm going to do it full speed. The older John, probably the Calais, the Grady's, those guys are going to literally be in their books and know the plays, because when you're shrinking down that playbook and knowing what's coming on first down, what's coming on second down, you don't waste energy, first of all, because you're trying to play every play if you're a real player, you know what I'm saying? And if you see a play that's you already recognize, it goes from 10 options to 2. So you know exactly where to step, you know exactly where to think. So I think even with the defense now, I've looked at the defense and I've seen a lot of schemes in the preseason, but I haven't seen any personal dominance yet.
Okay.
And that's what I'm hoping to see. It comes different during the season. Like, we didn't get to see a lot of the starters.
It's vanilla too.
Also, but me personally.
Right.
I want to see, like,
somebody dominating.
I want to see that guy that can be the Von Miller. I want to see the Calais Campbell. I want to see the Grady Jarrett in the preseason, just so we can get a sniff of what we have to come. Because our second team is, I'm scared of.
Right.
I don't know what to say.
John
I'm just being honest.
You referenced the 24-0. Unfortunately, we didn't get the starters, but for one game, and I get that. And that's part of the things we were trying to battle with the audience.
It's the mentality.
That we will be ready for week one. Let me ask you this: as John Abraham joins this guy, is the Predator Pro Bowler, 133.5 sacks. This guy gets after it. We love getting him on the show. When you think about the teamwork with offensive line, how does it work? Like, how does it, Calais, work with Grady? How did you work with the other guys on the line? Because I know some of the stunts. Is there a rhythm to that, or is it still just individual effort when it's D-line?
I think we definitely have a great offensive line. So hopefully we won't be like, oh my God, they can't guard Ritter. They can't guard Ritter. We got 100 million man listening. You know what I'm talking about? We got Matt Bergeron, right? And I'm sorry, Bergeron played great this preseason.
Physical.
I watched him this preseason, and having a guy go on IR is sometimes a falter, and you get kind of sensitive about that. But having him come in and being able to take that spot, I don't know what they was thinking. I guess that's why they called me, because they knew they needed that love from Abe. I had to be able to call his name out. On defense, it's definitely going to be, we're going to see how mature this defense is. And see, I think for me personally, my problem was I was a playmaker. I wasn't about just stopping the ball or doing this. When I got to the ball, I wanted to create turnovers. That's one thing we did do. I saw us got to the quarterback a lot. And I was kind of surprised, because I was like, okay, they're getting to the quarterback. Whether the quarterback was holding the ball a little long or regardless, it's showing that they have that mentality that we got to get sacks this year.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that lighted me up. And I think when we get our starters in there, we'll really see, because I know Grady's hungry. Like, just sitting beside him, you can tell when a player is kind of like, I'm tired of all this.
He is.
I'm ready to go. Like,
5 years without the playoffs.
The money don't mean nothing to him right now. He's a comfortable guy. He's ready to play. And like Calais should get his 100 sack this year. So that'll put him in the 100 sack club.
True.
So for him, he can relax and play. And I know it sounds like something that people, oh, he got 100, but sometimes you get that out of the way, and then let's go back to football.
Yeah, it makes it easier. At what point did you think about the 133? Did you, or was it until after you finished, like, you realized I kind of did some things?
I probably last year. I never really paid it attention, because my thing was, when I was in college, we lost so many games. I didn't really care about stats.
Yeah.
So that's why I say I became a playmaker, because like playmakers, you cause a fumble, script sack compared to a sack. People start paying you more attention. Like, my numbers are very nice. They're very spread out. And if you watch, it's like, okay, behind the ball, tackles for losses, I'm probably like number 11 or 10. caused fumbles, number 3, sacks 13. So if you're saying an all-around player, you can say that that's what you want to do. So if this team can incorporate turnovers, like I know my mentality was always, if I'm getting to the ball, it's getting the ball out, getting the ball on the ground, because usually it's a loss of down, or usually it's a turnover.
Right.
So it's one or the other. So you don't necessarily have to worry about a lot of stuff. But, I haven't seen the real playmakers. I've seen them making plays, but the playmakers are totally different.
He's tied with Lawrence Taylor, by the way, in that category as far as sacks in the NFL all-time leader.
It's
and
impressive.
you look at the guys that John, and that's why, look, we're not going to discount the other guys that are in there, but to me, it's just if you play in Dallas or you play in LA or you play your whole career in New York, it's not the argument. You'd be in it. It'd be no argument. But Atlanta, we were a smaller market. We're bigger now, but it seems like it just those teams. If you go, for instance, if you go to the Super Bowl in 2012, that cashes your check. You're in.
Yeah. I think if I would have started in Atlanta, first of all, I'd have been happy as I don't know what. Because the margin of the coach there at that time was a coach that I actually like, so
for sure
it's different when you have coaches and people can say you want to be a great player, but it's hard to put all your greatness into somebody that you don't really want to like, oh yeah, that guy, I made him great. No, you didn't. But I came to Atlanta and like seeing Arthur Blank the other day, man, like he gave me a hug, man. It felt like my father, man. I'm talking about, I'm like, that's some stuff that I love, and I would have loved to have been here. Just the consistency of being on one team, I think would have helped me. But at the same time, the numbers ain't gonna lie, and I'm not gonna sit here and beat myself up, which I have done in the past. I'm like, oh man, if I don't, I don't. I had a great career.
Yeah,
I had a great career, and also when you see people in Atlanta and they come speak to you, I had a guy come to me today in the shoe store, and he was elated to see me. And for me, not being a media type guy at the time, and somebody sees you and just gives you that love. That's what you play for. At the end of the day, when you're done with football, that's what you play for. You play to have and make people smile. At the end of the day, that's what you play for.
We're going to take a break. I'm going to give you a break because we're going to bring you back. I know you got to go up on stage here.
Right.
But I want to make sure. Oh, you need to be over there to sit?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. I want to make sure that we get a chance to talk to you. Because speaking of the media thing, we're going to talk Braves with our Braves guy. But I want to bring you back, Jonathan, because I want to ask you about that. Because you're right. You didn't talk a lot. You didn't say a whole lot. Right. You performed. And now people always say, well, why was that approach? I want you to answer that when we come back, all right?
Question.
It's been a fun day here at Atlantic Station. It's going to get a lot funner here coming up. Kids out here, man, on the green, Mike playing, catching footballs, takes you back.
Yeah, man, there's a real buzz. I mean, and I do, living down in the country, I do miss it. I miss Atlantic Station. What a great vibe. John's lived here for years, man. It's a great spot. Good time. We're here at Hobnob till 7. And the pep rally will kick off here at 7 o'clock. John's going to be on stage. Lots of Falcon players, both present and former, going to be here as well with the GM and the coach.
Yeah, lots of stuff going on. John Abraham joining us, and we were talking about the Falcons. We've been talking about them all day, guys. Sunday, season starts, and we both have said this is going to be a different year. It feels different, but there's a lot of proving that has to go on, for this team. So we'll see how this looks on Sunday, but I'm very confident about where we're at. But, hey, we were talking about a couple of things, man. There have been guys in this league like you who were ballers, just played, didn't really want to talk to the media, didn't want to do the things, with the interviews to pump up your image or any of that. You felt like you didn't need to, I guess. And I'm curious, like now, do you think back and go, maybe I should have did more or not really? What was your approach?
I would say I definitely let someone get into my head when I was younger. A lot of the older guys, when I came in the league, they were more of like, stay away from media, they'll turn on you so quick. And, I ended up getting into a situation, and that's what they did. And so for me, I kind of shied away from it. When I came to Atlanta, I definitely wish I would have put more into Atlanta because I was a pretty good player. And then I got hurt, but then my mentally, I just thought nobody didn't want to see me now. They paid all this money, and this guy's going to be on the bench right now because he's hurt. So, it kind of shied away from the thing. But in these days and times, having the Instagram, having the podcast, having the outlets to be able to talk to people, I'm coming out now because it's fun. It's more fun than anything. And also it shows you what kind of knowledge you have.
Right.
Because I always thought I was not a smart person besides football. Like they say, everybody has a genius moment. Everybody, and I think football was my genius moment. Right. But now looking back, I'm actually pretty intelligent. Sure. If you don't know something, if you're ignorant to something and you never done it, like I told you, I'm juggling now. I'm doing sign language, and all that stuff I'm trying to do now is strengthening my brain.
Right.
A lot of times, when like you hear people go through memory loss and go through a lot of different things in life. You gotta learn a new way to teach yourself to pick up things.
Right.
And that's what I've been trying to do. And also I'm just being myself.
Right.
Just being myself. And like I don't have to be the loudest guy. I don't have to be the life of the party to still be a part of the party. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like so for my situation, it's just like just being out there, just getting to know like just knowing you, like Mike, like just getting to know you two guys. It's like I could have done this 20 years ago.
Yes.
I could have done this 15 years ago. I could have done this when I first got here. I could have called y'all like, look, I want to be on the show.
For sure.
Period blank. I want to be on the show.
That's it.
But instead, like then it was more of like we didn't want to reach out because we didn't want to be too media friendly because we didn't want the media to have everything we had. But now it's like I love how all the players are doing this season, doing podcasts. And so people can always see why that player's like doing this or why that player's not doing this. So I think it's a great situation for the players, during and after football.
Right. John Abraham is with us here live at the Hobnob at Atlantic Station. Falcons pep rally coming up. We've talked about it. We've been in locker rooms now going on over 30 years. Sometimes you just cringe with some of the questions. So I understand now with all the different things from podcasts to your own show, you can create your voice. You're not getting your message isn't distorted. And I also think, guys like Charles Haley, who you kind of remind me of, I wouldn't want to talk to the media either when I was playing in the NFL for the reasons we just mentioned. And sometimes that hurts you for the Hall of Fame. If you're on Good Morning America or you're on, a bunch of panel shows, that brand almost kind of locks you in for that gold jacket.
Yeah, I mean, you're actually participating with the guys that are voting.
Correct.
Yeah. And I always will look back at it and say, I could have did more. But at the same time, is you look at my numbers.
Right. They don't lie.
Even if you're not a football guy, you can just like, he did what? Oh, okay. So he's above him and that and him and that. But ain't he there? So after a while, you start questioning. And I can only give so much now.
Right.
I can just say how I feel about the situation and also appreciate what I do and give gratitude for having even being in the situation. Man, I would have loved to have been in the Super Bowl. It didn't happen in my career. I would have loved to have been, player of the year. Didn't happen in my career. But that doesn't mean I didn't have an outstanding career personally. I mean, I was pretty much unstoppable if at any time, if I wanted to be. You know what I mean? As long as they had no injuries. I can tell you, man, if you could take those out and just look at the
Right.
Look, I always say one thing I can say. Anybody who ever played against me, they always had to circle me.
Because they knew they were going to get a battle.
That's the biggest thing you always want to see. Like, sometimes we could play around him, let him do this, let him do that. Like, every time you see 55, 94, you had to circle that number.
Abe, I've always said this. It's Dukes and Bell, Jonathan Abraham joining us here. We're at Hobnob, guys, hanging out Atlantic Station. You'll hear from Calais Campbell coming up here because Abe's got to make his way onto the stage and do some things for the Falcons. But I've always said, the last few years, there's really only been one guy that teams have had the game plan for, 97. That's great.
Exactly.
And when you get to a point where you go, we got to know what he's doing, and you have a bunch of those cats, that's when you know your defense is good, right? That's when it's like, all right, we got to know where 55 is, 97, we got to know where 21. Like, you start going through the list, now that changes. And when you only got one guy, to your point, to worry about, you can schematically game plan for him, and you're not going to neutralize the great players, but you slow them down a little bit. And I just think you're right. I mean, when you circle the board, when coaches come in on Tuesday and like, look, we got to know where this dude's at. You were one of those dudes. Did you play mad? Were you always mad?
I'm going to be honest. When I first got in the league, I played immature.
Explain.
Immature is just like I thought I could make every play. I didn't really care what the playbook said. If I saw something, I was going to go do it. Like I said, I was going to mess up, but I was going to mess up full speed.
Okay.
I didn't really worry about like, what everybody else had to do. They 10 other people on the field. I just knew that
My job is to get the quarterback.
I'm going to make the play. Like, whoever got the ball, I'm going to make the play. So I played very immature.
Okay.
So when I got to Atlanta, I played scared because I got hurt.
So you weren't playing mad.
You lose your confidence?
I'm getting to it. I never truly played mad because I know how I act when I'm mad. When you're mad, sometimes you're inconsistent. You'll think about the guy in front of you because I did play mad when I was a little younger when I was in New York, but I was mad at where I was. So when I would come out, I would try to kill the tackle in front of me, but then the running back goes like 15 yards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So then, like when I got older, I played mature. I got mature and I started listening to like Bach. I listened to slow stuff before the games compared to, like Mozart. Listen, because think about it, it's stuff to strengthen your brain. So I started listening, like when I used to come 2 hours before the game, like let's say if everybody got to be there at 9, I came at 7. I would come, I would lay down, I would turn on some slow music like that, listen, and I'll sit there and try to go over my mind on what I need to play, what my plays, and envision me making plays. So the whole mentality from a young guy to a guy that's scared to a guy playing mad to a guy that's just playing mature. And playing mature is a lot easier because one thing as being an NFL player, if you want to lose your job, get a lot of MEs, mental errors.
Right.
One thing I hated, I got a mental error one time when I was in New York, and I swear I said I will never get a mental error again. If I get one missed tackle, you can't help that. Sometimes,
Right.
I mean, you tackling Ricky Williams, okay, good. I can't say, you know what I mean? I got a tackle on me, I'm trying to miss it. But a mental error, not being in the right place at the right time, or you know, like missing an assignment, that's all mental. So that's one thing I didn't want to do. So that's what my focus came on. That's a mature player.
Yeah.
Like at the end of my career, you would never see me. Like you'll see my name up there, be like, so-and-so did this, so-and-so did that. Yup, John good. Okay. Like as long as I don't see my name, you ain't gotta call my name. Like on Monday morning, you ain't calling my name.
Right.
Monday, you ain't calling my name. You're not gonna be. I'm not gonna be the person posed. I'm not gonna do it.
Right. Remember Bob Whitfield used to get mad at me. Why are you always talking to me on the air? I go, well, they say holding number 70. Everybody heard it. You know,
Exactly.
It is John Abraham. And Bob's listening. That was only once or twice, Bob. John Abraham is with us. And by the way, Croy Bierman was second in sacks that year. John had 10. What about having the opposite number? All the great and some of the great Hall of Famers had that dude opposite him. You know, a guy. So the defense couldn't always. You either got double teamed, held, or you were coming around the edge, literally like 12 inches off the ground because you were coming so fast sideways. It just seemed like if you need, and I know you're not going to disrespect your former teammates, but how important is that?
Well, he might.
To do the job. Feel free, but I mean to have that other guy so you don't get double teamed.
I can say it like this. My 14th year, I played with Calais Campbell.
Okay.
I got 11 and a half sacks.
Right.
That's all I got to say. I'm just saying we're playing with a guy with
that was
a high
Arizona
guy. Yeah, I'm just saying just like this.
So if that's your 8th year,
I'm just 14th.
I know, but if it was your 8th,
if it was my first or second or third or fourth, but I'm saying that I'm just throwing that out there to show the difference. No,
Everybody has to have a complimentary player.
I've always had good players. I had Sean Ellis when I was younger. I had good players, but I don't think I ever had the guy that they had to circle also. And I'm not saying it in a bad way. I love Jonathan Babineau. I would play with him. If you can give me anybody, I would take Jonathan Babineau just because of the person he is and the guy I played with and being able to play against him and with him. But, just being real, like I never had that guy that you like, oh, it was this guy and this guy. It was like this guy, except for Calais. When I played with Calais, it was just like, and I had Darnell Dockett on the team also, but Calais was the guy, they feared our D-line. Right. When I was there, it was kind of like, oh, we got him.
We got issues.
So I got to play football. I ended up making the Pro Bowl that year. Just throwing it out there. Nothing serious. That was your
I said 14. It on the radio all the time.
We
were here, man. Yeah. I'm with you.
That's great. It's a great analogy, though. It is.
Right.
Because when Mike and I say these things to our listeners, and I think some people take it for granted, like, well, great players, they're great players. Yeah, but great players need other great players. And it elevates everybody.
Yeah, if you see the numbers and you see, like, the guys that was around the guy, you kind of like, okay, that's different. Because even with Dwight Freeney, he had Mathis.
Right.
And even with Strahan, he had Olsen.
That's right.
And I'm not saying, like, I'm not trying to knock anybody like that, but, it was always some guy that,
LT had Leonard Marshall and 3 other linebackers.
Oh, they linebackers. Banks, all those guys were amazing. So it's just like when you put it up there, you kind of see, like, let's see where this guy came from. Like, even when I was in college, coming from a losing team, a lot of the respect that I didn't get was simply because of my record. It wasn't because of the player, because I played like, I remember this guy, this kid just played 100 plays. I played 100 plays on defense one time. That's how bad we were. I really did.
Yeah, you talking about Travis Hunter with Colorado.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm looking now, like, if we had the media then, and they saw me play when I played in college, I'd have been, well, we got Tom Brady now, but I would have been like the first pick or second pick.
Sure.
Just I'm saying, if you'd have watched me play in college, if you watched me play in college, it was a whole different situation.
Hey, man, it is always good to catch up with you. He gave us his perspective on the Falcons, some things he thinks we need to do. We hopefully will get a chance to catch up with you as the season moves forward.
And we're cool with you letting us make it more than Dukes or Bell.
Appreciate you, man.
Guys.
Hey, and enjoy this event tonight.
Yeah,
man.
Fun, man.
All right, for the kids, man.
For the kids.
Beautiful
for the
family,
kids,
by the way. Great
Thank
family.
you, man.